We are back with some more rectangular leaks. This one may have actually been leaked by Jordan several months earlier, and that is we will be getting a Marvel Legends retro carded, I would assume, Secret Wars wave. So let's speculate on what that could be. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan, and we are doing some more speculation. This time, we are speculating on something a little bit more substantiated than maybe our Retro Hulk and Retro Ghost Rider, which we still believe pretty firmly will be coming at some point. But this one was leaked by Rectangular. It's a pretty impeccable record there. Anything he leaks typically comes true. I don't know if he's ever been wrong about anything yet. But he is saying that we are going to be getting a retro, I believe he said retro card. Maybe that's wrong, but I would assume it's got to come on the same kind of card back that it used to come on back in Toy Biz. But it's going to be a Secret Wars wave.
That makes too much sense to not
Right.
Not make it as an homage to those. So yes, I did speculate a while back. I think we were talking about HasLabs that could be not vehicles or giant beings.
Mhm.
And one idea I had was, what if you had like a Secret Wars thing? I had an idea if we're doing figures, like a retro style, you know, those like 1980s Secret Wars figures where they're on the big card and they came with coins or whatever. Like,
yeah,
maybe to appeal to that demographic, like you get your basic like 5 heroes, 5 villains, and they would be in that style. And then maybe you unlock. Maybe there could be a big Beyonder. I think he goes giant. Or, I don't know. That would almost be too easy to cash in on the 80s nostalgia to not. Because I know they've done retro packaging, but not the Secret Wars.
Right.
Which in a couple years would be a great tie-in to the movie.
That's true. I feel like that's got to be coming.
This makes more sense in this context.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would be happy about that. But yeah, I think a Secret Wars line would be sweet. And we saw a lot of people commenting on one of our recent videos for Secret Wars, so there's definitely a demand for it, I think.
For sure. And during the research of this episode, I saw that back in the day they came out with an 8-pack. I was like, that seems HasLab worthy, but I don't think we're going to get that. But in that pack, they did have a battle damaged Spider-Man, Jordan. So I don't know if that's coming or not. So
that's true. That would be great. I don't know if that's even would be to the degree of damage. I'm going to nitpick there. Even if I get it, it's not going to be as beat up as I'd like. But
well, it was kind of like Spider-Man ripping off the symbiote suit, but then like also kind of his suit was ripped up too. So it's kind of like a combination of a bunch of battle damagedness.
Okay.
But I'll do a quick recap of what we've seen before, and then maybe we'll try to pull, because I would assume they're going to take figures from that and then recreate them. But you've read this storyline, so maybe you know some of those characters that they'd never made into figures. I haven't even read the past Secret Wars. So you can kind of help me out with maybe who we're missing if they would bring in somebody that they hadn't made before. So in Series 1, they had a Spider-Man in his red and blue costume. They had a Kang, a Doctor Doom. They had a Doc Ock, a Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine in his brown and yellow suit, and then a Magneto. In Series 2, it was a little bit smaller of a wave, but you had a Spider-Man in the symbiote costume, a Hobgoblin, a Daredevil, a Baron Zemo in kind of the like hooded mask type of look. You had a Falcon, and then that was it for Series 1 and 2, and then there was also like a special release, foreign release, according to the website I was looking at, and that included Electro, Constrictor, and Iceman. So, and then each of those, it was kind of like they would come with the figure, and then it had, I don't know if it was like a sticker, but something, I think it was a sticker, and then some sort of like medallion.
Yeah, weren't those like little like, they were little like coins or something.
Yeah. So I don't know if Hasbro would do that. I think that would honestly be kind of cool, but if they did that, then you're going to miss out on some accessories.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to have a little homage to the classic, but I also don't want that to be at the expense of maybe, okay, so if they were going to do this like the 20th anniversary, maybe that's how you kind of get those extras thrown in. You're going to have to pay a little bit more, but instead
Yeah.
of the like background Dio Marvel Legends base thing, you get that.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah,
thought.
I think that would make sense to do since it's obviously like a specialty thing.
Mm-hmm.
Make some kind of connection like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think those are all a lot of the pretty popular characters that you listed off in this story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I remember, was it Titania? I think
Yeah,
she
I've
was
seen.
introduced in that storyline.
Okay.
Which I could see that being one people might want.
I have seen a lot of commenters saying they want her.
Yeah, somehow she gets. I don't remember. It's like imbued with power or something. And then I think the Wrecking Crew featured in there. I know there's been talk of that.
Oh yeah.
People wanting them. Like what is this? All the whole gang there.
Right.
So I don't know.
Now the Beyonders in this story, right?
Yep, Beyonder. I think that's definitely. I would say would be a definite. I think.
Okay.
That they should make.
Okay.
I think that would make a lot of sense in this line.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those ones are tough though because it's not like they look super different from a lot of the ones we've gotten.
Right.
Like they're all pretty, except for even Wolverine though. We've gotten that look.
I mean, maybe just put him on the pinless stuff now that they've got it.
Right.
But
I could see this being a lot more just kind of like updates
mm-hmm.
rather than like more new characters.
Yeah.
Maybe just like the packaging too. I think Enchantress was in there too.
Mm.
So we haven't seen her for a bit.
Not since, is that the Hulkbuster wave or something? Maybe the Allfather wave?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of ones that would be... Because you're going to get that mix of ones we've seen before.
Right. I figured if it was going to be a wave of 6, we would probably see at least 2 or 3 of either Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, and Iron Man. So maybe since Cap and Iron Man have been done before in the 20th anniversary, we would do Spider-Man and Wolverine, but they've both been done to death. I think if I was going to pick, I would probably go Spider-Man and Captain America out of those like staples of Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten the that 2-pack cell-shaded symbiote Spider-Man on the Renew Your Vows. So I could easily see them just taking the cell shading off and just doing a symbiote Spider-Man on the Renew Your Vows.
Yeah.
And then with Captain America, you could just get your Captain America without the Holy Shield. And then, I don't know, I like that there are effect ports for the 20th anniversary one, but I understand people want to also display their cap without the effects sometimes.
No, I think that's a solid prediction for Spider-Man and Cap. What about villains? Or do you think it'd be like a mix? Do we get
3 and 3 maybe?
How many? Do you think it'd be 6? 6 is probably
that's kind of what I was assuming because that's what we've been getting with the like retro Spider-Man stuff. I mean, it could be more. Maybe we get a deluxe thrown in there too. But I'm just gonna assume that we're gonna get a base of 6. Maybe they go past that, but at least 6, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to think as far as villains.
I mean, they've kind of already done that Doctor Doom, right? Wasn't that 2-pack Doctor Doom?
Well, yeah, because that's when I think at first he has more of a traditional look, and then he steals the Beyonder's powers and gets all, powered up and looks like that. So I don't know if I'd see that.
Right.
I could maybe if you did a Doc Ock, because he's not like the kind of chubbier Doc Ock. He's kind of in that era was more the, I think, leaner.
Okay.
A little bit.
Is it a little bit more like animated series Doc Ock?
A little bit. I mean, he has kind of that regular look of like the whatever SPDR or the other one.
Okay.
But maybe that would be the chance to like. But they already did the one with the bendy wire, so I don't know if I see that happening. But a lot of them too. I mean, like there's Lizard in there, but we just got the retro Lizard. There's Ultron. We've got 2 Ultron.
Yeah.
I mean, Beyonder, I think that's why I think Beyonder would be a for sure pick.
I mean, I'm thinking if it's somebody that hasn't been around for a bit, I think you're probably onto something with Beyonder. But if I was going to pick 3 from like the original series, I would say we'd probably see a Baron Zemo in that like more hood mask, because I think some people have been wanting that. I would hope for a new Electro because the retro one is going pretty expensive. It's been a while since he's been out. And then Constrictor maybe, but since that was in like that foreign release, that seems a little bit maybe, but it's also been a while since they've put out a Constrictor, so I could see them doing an update there.
Yeah.
Probably not Magneto since they just made the 97 one. Kang, I feel like they've done a lot of MCUs, and they did that reissue not that long ago from the Joe Fixit wave. And I don't think he looks that much different than the Joe Fixit wave.
Yeah, I mean it would look pretty much the same. I think. I mean, he had like Molecule Man, but we just saw him.
Right.
Again, the Wrecking Crew. That to me seems more like a.
That should be like
at that point,
2-packs.
You wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be a potential, but I don't know if they go that far.
Right. I think a lot of people I've been seeing wanting an updated Iceman. And was that Iceman in that story snowy, or was he like icy?
He was more icy.
Dang
he was icy at that point.
All right, maybe not Iceman then.
You want him snowy?
A lot of people want that like first class look, because when he came out in that, like, I think it was the box set, I think he was still more icy and not snowy enough.
The hard part is saying, okay, would they focus on, like, we're going to try to just recreate this line?
Right.
Or is it more so we're going to do the line, but we're going to give you characters maybe that you haven't seen or are more like updates?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, there's Enchantress, Absorbing Man was in that story, who we haven't seen in a while, but he wasn't in that line.
Right.
So I don't think he was like super important to the story. So.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we could probably see, like I said, there's going to be those ones that everybody already has multiples of, but then I think you're probably right where they're going to probably try to weave in something that was outside of that realm, which I think you're probably right on Beyonder, because at least if Hasbro's looking at the comments, there's been a ton of people wanting Beyonder.
They're reading through our comment section.
they're in the Strong Collectors comment section at least. they're just not leaving the comments. Maybe it's on their burner account.
I would love. I have a long shot one.
Okay.
But it's from I had it. I pulled it up to make sure it's issue 10, and it's the cover where it's Doom and he's just all messed up. He's like in tatters and his like suit's all. I think it's like he's fighting the Beyonder.
Okay.
But that would not happen. But I think that would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Like a powered up battle damage Doom.
Yeah.
Because
I could go for another classic looking Doom, but then with the 4-pack leaked, if you haven't seen that,
right,
go back and watch that. But would they do 2 of those Dooms that are going to be essentially the same thing in the same year? Probably not.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of the difficulty of the line. And I'm not sure. I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure to see.
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna say 100. You're saying 100% there's a Beyonder. I'm saying 100% there's a symbiote suit Spider-Man, without a doubt. Like, how are you gonna do that? Like, if anybody thinks of Secret Wars, you're thinking of that like Spider-Man cover. Mm-hmm. He's got to be in there.
I mean, I really think with this line, you're going to buy it for the packaging.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what's going to sell it. It's not the figures, because it's like, but it's kind of brilliant because it gives them an excuse to just repack, give you another cap, another Spider. Because what else can you do? Because those were like the iconic characters from the line. Mm-hmm. And I do think there are people who the nostalgia of like,
right.
Oh, so it's just like, and like us, when we see the retro cards, it's like, oh, this is kind of what I remember, or the Toy Biz ones. It was cool. Like, I have those in package. I don't have any other Legends in package, but I thought the packaging was cool. So.
Yeah. And I was going to say, you can go back and get those older figures. I mean, some of them are probably crazy, but I would assume as long as you're not looking for like the most minty action figure you can find, you get a little beat up one. You can get them in package to display it next to the new package. Plus, they did the variant comic book run, which like I've got some of those. I don't even know who I have. I know I have a Mr. Fantastic, which wasn't even made back then, but getting the comic books to display next to those figures, I think is pretty cool too. So I think you're right where this is one where figure collectors might not be quite as happy as like mint and box collectors are probably going to lose their minds over this. So, and honestly, I think this has the potential to be one of the best retro carded looking lines. Like especially if, like I said, if they add in some of those like weird novelty things, which the more I think about it, the less I think it's possible. But if they did add in some of those novelties, I think that just like puts this above anything else Hasbro's ever done.
They each get a piece to build a Dio.
I mean, I don't know if you, again, in my research looking at this stuff, there was some
I think they
deluxe
did. Didn't they
things.
have a Dio set?
It was like a
back
whole
in the
like
day, right?
tower, yeah.
Like a
And they
tower.
had some vehicles too. So if that's the next HasLab, Secret Wars Tower, no, probably not.
No way.
But yeah, no, I don't think so at all. But
You think at some point though, Hasbro would make like at least a little bit of Dio stuff, just see if how it sells.
yeah, I mean, you see
don't
that with
think
like
so?
Mythic Legions, and then there's other companies that are just doing their like accessory things. I don't see Hasbro ever really trying for it, at least within Marvel Legends. I think you'd probably have more likelihood of seeing that in like GI Joes, because it seems like they
That's
pull
true.
out the stops for GI Joe, which like makes sense. They own the brand and like they don't have to pay a licensing fee to Disney for it. So I can see where they can kind of do a little bit more of that. But yeah, with Marvel,
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming with Marvel. But
Yeah, I know.
what is coming is a Secret Wars wave, hopefully on the retro cards. Let us know in the comments what you think that's going to be. If you want to see some other videos that we've done of the retro Ghost Rider line that we predict is coming, not officially leaked, but we predict it's coming. Or if you'd rather see the official leaks, check them out down here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and stay strong.